Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Ahliyah Milka Kanea, and today I will present a summary of all the meetings in our Methodology Studi Islam course. In this video, I will explain the main ideas from each meeting in a simple and clear way, from the first topic until the last one. I hope this video can help us understand the development, sources, methods, and contemporary issues in Islamic studies. The first one is the material is about the history of Islamic studies in the world. In the first meeting, we learn about the history and development of Islamic studies in the world. Islamic studies grew through many intellectual stages and were supported by important fields such as kalam, usul, fiqh, hadith studies, and tafsir. We also learned that Islamic learning developed in famous centers such as Al-Azhar in Egypt, Al-Nizamiyah in Baghdad, and Cordova in Andalusia. This shows that Islamic studies have long and rich intellectual tradition. And this topic is important because it gives us the historical background before we study the other categories. The next meeting is religion in human life. So in this second meeting, the topic was religion in human life. Religion is not only about belief and worship, but also about values, moral guidance, and social life. Religion gives direction to humans, help build identity, and strengthen ethical behavior and social interaction. So, religion plays an important role in helping people live with purpose and meaning. And this topic becomes the basic foundation before we discuss Islamic teaching more deeply. And then the next material is the dimension of Islamic teaching. This third material discusses the dimension of Islamic teachings. Islam is comprehensive or kafah because it covers three main dimensions: akidah, syariah, and akhlak. Akidah is the dimension of belief. Sharia is the dimension of law and rules, and the akhlak is the dimension of behavior and characters. These three dimensions are connected to each other, and belief forms the foundation, law guides action, and morality shows the result in daily life. These topics help us to see that Islam is not only a religion of faith, but also a complete way of life. The next material is the fourth meeting about religious research and religious studies research. In this fourth meeting, we studied the difference between penelitian agama and penelitian keagamaan. Religious research focus on the core teaching of a religion such as holy text, doctrine, theology, and divine concept. It is usually normative and theological. Meanwhile, the religious studies research focus on how religion is practiced in real life. It studies social religious phenomena using empirical methods. This distinction is important because it teaches us that religion can be studied from different perspectives, from the text and also from the real social practice. And the next meeting is the fifth meeting. The material is about universal Islam, fundamentalism, inclusivism, and Islamization of science. This fifth meeting explains the idea of universal Islam. Islam is universal because it is intended for all human beings, not for one race, region, or group only. We also learn about Maqasid Syariah, which includes the protection of religion, intellect, life, lineage, and wealth. In this meeting, we also discuss fundamentalism, exclusivism, and inclusivism. Fundamentalism usually means a rigid and literal understanding of religious texts. Exclusivism tends to close itself from other views, while inclusivism is more open and respectful toward another's perspective. Another important topic was Islamization of science, which means integrating science with Islamic values so that knowledge is not only empirical but also spiritual and meaningful. The next material is the sources and characteristics of Islamic teaching. So this is the sixth meeting. We discussed about the sources of Islamic teaching. The main source is the Al-Quran, the Quran, followed by Hadith. Then there are secondary sources such as Ijma, Qiyas, and Ijtihad. The hierarchy is clear: Quran, Hadith, Ijma, and Qiyas. We also learn that Islamic teaching have important characteristics such as being based on Tauhid, being comprehensive, balanced, clear, and dynamic. Islam is not only a ritual religion but a complete guidance for life. So this material is very important because it shows how Islamic law and teachings are built from strong and systematic foundations. And then the next meeting is the tafsir of the Quran. The seventh meeting discuss tafsir or Quranic interpretation. Tafsir means explaining the meaning of Quran verses so that people can understand the message correctly. Tafsir is important because it helps us avoid misunderstanding the Quran and makes the Quran more applicable to real life. We also learn that tafsir developed as an academic discipline through the effort of early Muslim scholars. It continued from the time of the Prophet, the companions, and then the tabi'in, and later developed into different methods in interpretation. So tafsir help us connect the divine text with human understanding. And then the next meeting is Hadith as source of Islamic teaching and its research models. The eighth meeting was about Hadith. Hadith refers to everything that attribute to Prophet Muhammad SAW, such as his word, action, approval, and characteristic. In this topic, we also learn about sanad and matan. Sanad is the chain of narrator, while matan is the content of the hadith. We also studied hadith research method, especially the classical model. This include tahrij hadith, jarh wa ta'dil, sanad verification, and matan analysis. The goal is to make sure that a hadith is authentic and trustworthy. This material shows that hadith is not only a source of teaching but also a field of serious academic research. So the next meeting we discuss about ijtihad as a source and methods of Islamic studies. So this is the ninth meeting. We discuss ijtihad. Ijtihad means using maximum effort and intellectual power to find Islamic legal rulings for new issues. A mujtahid must master the Quran, Hadith, Arabic language, and related fields. We also studied the method of ijtihad such as qiyas, ijma, istihsan, maslahah, mursalah, istishab, and urf. Ijtihad is very important because it helps Islam respond to new challenges and modern problems. And this topic shows that Islamic law is dynamic and can continue to guide society in every era. And the next thing is about Bayani, Burhani, and Irfani approach. So this is the 10th meeting. This meeting explained three important approaches in Islamic studies: Bayani, Burhani, and Irfani. Bayani is text-based. It focuses on the Quran, Hadith, language analysis, and legal text. And then Burhani is reason-based. It uses logic, evidence, and rational arguments. And then the Irfani is spiritual. It relies on inner experience, intuitions, and purification of the heart. And then these three approaches are different, but they complement each other. Bayani protects the authority of revelation, Burhani supports rational thinking, and Irfani strengthens the spiritual dimension. So this material teaches us that Islamic studies should not depend on only one perspective. And then the next meeting is contemporary Islam. So this is the 11th meeting, and in this meeting we discuss contemporary Islam. So contemporary Islam understanding means interpreting Islam according to present day conditions without leaving the Quran and Hadith as the main sources. We also learn that contemporary Islam is contextual, rational, dynamic, and open to ijtihad. It is relevant in modern fields such as Islamic finance, education, digital media, law, social life, and health. And at the same time, contemporary Islam faces challenges such as textualism, radicalism, polarization, secularism, liberalism, and global moral crisis. These topics, this material remind us that Islam must answer modern problems while still keeping its core values. And then at the next meeting, at the 12th meetings, we discuss about Islamic studies areas in the West and the Islamic world and Indonesia. So we discuss the areas of Islamic studies in the West and the Islamic world and in Indonesia. In the West, Islamic studies developed through historical, critical, empirical, and multidisciplinary approaches. In the Islamic world, the study of Islam is often more normative and text-based. In Indonesia, Islamic studies combine religious knowledge with modern academic thinking and local cultures. We also learn that each region has its own characteristic, history, and education style. Even so, all of them have the same goal: to understand Islam more deeply and answer the needs of society. This material gives us a broader view that Islamic studies are diverse but still connected by one common purpose. So after learning all these meetings, all the material, I understand that methodology study Islam is not only about memorizing concept but also about understanding how Islamic knowledge is built, developed, and applied in real life. I also understand that Islam can be studied from many angles: historical, textual, rational, spiritual, social, and contemporary. For me, the most important lesson is that Islamic studies should be balanced. We need strong sources, correct interpretation, and logical thinking, also spiritual sensitivity. This course is useful not only for academic study but also for shaping a more thoughtful and open way of understanding Islam in daily life. The material from conclusion, the materials from all the meetings shows that Islam is a complete religion with a rich intellectual tradition and strong ability to respond to change. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.